Ciao ragazzi, bentornati sul mio canale. Welcome back on my channel. Are you ready for a new lesson with me? Let's start. The subject of today is reflexive verbs. Right? Reflexive as in reflection. First, have a look at all these actions. I'm sure that you know already some of those, but what actually means when we find this ending and not any other usual one? Let's read together these examples to find out what else is different in the declination. La mattina mi rilasso. Mario si veste. Giada si sveglia alle 8. Tu ti lavi le mani. Noi ci divertiamo alla festa. I bambini si bagnano. What do you notice? That's right, these little particles here are new. Okay, let's have a look a little closer to the riflessivi and let's find out what they are. The word is representative for one part, meaning that in general are called like this verbs whose action is performed on the same subject. So for example, I wash myself or I sit myself in a chair. The subject I am doing the washing and the sitting. In Italiano would be mi lavo and mi siedo sulla sedia. But it also can refer to a part of it, as in I wash my teeth, mi lavo i denti, and it can also be a reciprocal action that is performed, as in noi ci amiamo, we love each other, reciprocal. You can have a quick look at this chart to understand the difference between the uses and also notice the little particles that are before every verb, which by the way is normally conjugated. So we'll have, given the verb lavarsi, io mi lavo, tu ti lavi, lui o lei si lava, noi ci laviamo, voi vi lavate, loro si lavano. Pretty easy, I think. Some students find it useful to memorize the particles all in a row, let's say all together, mi ti si, ci vi si. Then you just have to remember the right conjugation of the verb. We mentioned before the fun thing of the mirror. A reflexive is a verb whose action is performed on ourselves. More grammatically speaking, la forma riflessiva si ha quando il soggetto coincide con l'oggetto e si può avere solo con i verbi transitivi, verbi che ammettono un oggetto. So, the subject of the sentence is the same object and the verb has to be transitive, meaning that it has to admit a direct object. Do you remember my video lesson about the structure of the sentence? You can follow the above link. Meanwhile, I'll show you some little images that can help you a little more to distinguish between a transitive verb and an intransitive one. This is a chart for English speakers that can enlighten you about the meaning of this in your language, but as we are here to study Italian, here a more useful chart and the magical trick to tell one kind from the other. I hope it's clear. Let me know if you'd be interested in a more structured lesson about this subject. Going back to the mirror metaphor, that is much nicer than all this speech about the transitive and intransitive. That is not an absolute rule, unfortunately. In fact, I'd like to point out some important things. 1. Some reflexive verbs can be used also at the active form, so without the reflexive pronouns, with obviously a difference in the meaning, as we see here in the example tu ti alzi, you get up, versus tu alzi la sedia, you lift the chair, where the chair is the direct object of the verb. These are only a couple of the reflexive verbs that can have an active form. Second important thing, many reflexive verbs are difficult to recognize and memorize because they don't necessarily mean to do something on ourselves. So if we always went for that reasonment, it will often bring us in a wrong direction, I'm afraid, because we can have a complete and beautiful sense out of a verb that requires the reflexive structure. Verbs such as innamorarsi di or dimenticarsi, by the way they mean respectively to fall in love and to forget, have a perfect active meaning in Italiano, and if I say io mi innamoro, it's not like saying io mi lavo, because io mi lavo, I wash myself, and io mi innamoro, it's not I am in love with myself, but simply I am in love. Here you have some full conjugation, so for you to familiarize a little bit with this new form, but I want you not to freak out and be concerned about the possibility to misunderstand reflexive. It's completely normal, so little by little, and again, reading a lot, you'll master reflexive and the Italian language will become even more fascinating to your eyes. For now, let's just focus on the structure, the conjugation, and try to do this little exercise. You notice that many regular actions, so many, not every, of our everyday life are at the reflexive form. Alzarsi, svegliarsi, lavarsi, eccetera, eccetera. So try to complete this exercise. You're supposed to follow the subject already inserted by me. You also have the solutions upside down, but try to do the exercise and then check. Here another nice exercise, match the descriptions to the images. There is one extra description. And in the chat, take notes of the actions every character does. This will also be more helpful and useful for your vocabulary. So in fact, you can take notes of all the new words and add them to your vocabulary list. For today, that's all. Keep up the good job, guys. Stay tuned for new videos here and for new posts on my Instagram and Facebook pages, whose links you find in the description of the channel. Leave a like if you like my channel and alla prossima! Ciao ciao!